All right, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL Show. Alex Napoles, Josh Clark, Carson Lantz joining you guys. And we've got plenty of Real Salt Lake to break down. We got plenty of soccer news to break down. But first, we're going to start the show off by sending our best wishes and our best love to Garth Lagerwey, the former general manager of Real Salt Lake. Unfortunately, today diagnosed with cancer. He'll be stepping away from his role with Atlanta United. The architect, Josh, of 2009. And the architect of building a championship winning team here in Salt Lake City and bringing MLS Cup, and then also being, of course, the architect of the guy who led Real Salt Lake to a CONCACAF Champions League final, an MLS Cup appearance, a U.S. Open Cup appearance. And so our best wishes and our best love to Garth Lagerwey, former GM for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope treatment goes well. I hope he gets through this fight. RSL Nation's behind him. It's nothing but well wishes for Garth, man.
Also, Josh, you brought up another sad story that we have to talk about, and our love to the Jota family. Also, some absolutely devastating news over the holiday. I'm still shocked, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine if we were to lose any player, let alone a star player, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what caliber player. Like losing any player's got to be rough. I hope that's nothing we ever have to deal with here in Salt Lake City. As a fan base with any sport, really. I mean, we've dealt with it with the Utes before. It's not fun, right?
Yeah.
It's extraordinarily sad. Yeah, it's horrible.
It was one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites to watch, man. I'm not necessarily like a Liverpool fan, but I always loved tuning in to watch Liverpool because of Jurgen Klopp and the system and the way that team played. And under Jurgen and under Arnie now, Jota was one of my favorite guys to watch. And so I'm still shocked, still saddened. And so our love goes out to the Jota family and the Liverpool fans as well. All right. We get the sad stuff out of the way. Let's dive into RSL and some RSL news. Major news coming out this morning, guys.
Nelson out of left field, bro.
Absolute left field. We had no idea, no indication that this was happening or this was coming, and we wake up to that.
We talked about it Saturday a little bit at the game.
We did, yeah.
About what players have value out there, right? That other teams could be looking for, and Palacio we kind of touched on, but we worried about. He hasn't really been seeing minutes up until recently, like very recently. So to see him being our first departure, kind of mind blowing. Especially with the Mecca out.
Yeah.
Right. That leaves the center of the park now kind of thin.
He was training today, by the way, Mecca was.
Yeah, I mean, he can be somewhat close, right? But that leaves us with 3 in the midfield now. Right, which is fine. And we talked about at the beginning of the season how that was our most, stacked group positionally.
Yes.
But suddenly not anymore.
I don't know. I feel like it's out of left field in a way, but, having a good agent and, good, like just a circle around you can get you really far in life, more than you think in the world of soccer. And I feel like that's what happened with Palacio. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like maybe with a Mecca being out, they're like, okay, this is your time to show us what you're really made of, and if it's worth keeping you here at RSL. And maybe they haven't been impressed with Nelson at all, and so like, all right, we can't promise you minutes when a Mecca comes back, so let's get you somewhere where you can play.
I think that's exactly it, because he's done a job, but it hasn't been the best job.
Nope, he's not a defensive midfielder at all whatsoever.
He's more he is, but he's also box to box, and I feel like he thrives more in a box to box role.
I think he's a good box to box guy, but I just feel like he makes so many mistakes that Ojeda and Emeka don't make.
That's the thing me and Josh were talking about on Saturday. Is he's been here for 2 years now.
Yeah,
I came in the same summer as Chicho, and we just haven't really seen him take a major step in his development. Like he's been there doing a job, but it's not like he's really taken as far as what I see. Like I don't see him. I haven't seen him take many steps developmentally, and so when you look at a guy on a roster that's not only taken up an international spot, but also taken up a U22 spot, and you have him as your number 4 on the depth chart, I think that's why this move makes sense. Would I have loved to keep Nelson around? Absolutely. I think he's a phenomenal locker room guy. I think he's has a phenomenal personality, and he's a funny dude. He's one of my favorite guys. But at the same time, looking at it from a soccer perspective and a business perspective, like you can't have your number 4th on the depth chart taking up both an international and a U22. And so that's why, to me, this move makes sense. Yes, it's a loan, but you open up those spots on the roster, Josh. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful move, honestly. I have no problems with it. It just caught me off guard.
100%. Absolutely out of left field. That's not the news that I expected to wake up to this morning.
But you know what? I kind of like that it caught us off guard. It's funner that way.
It is, and it's also an indication that there's potentially things are happening, Josh.
I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. Pablo's talked about it, right? They're expecting up to 4 players to come in. This signals that could be happening, right? With at least one being an international spot and or a U22 initiative player.
Before we get into St. Louis, let's look at that roster, because I think there's a lot of guys that can potentially move on this window to open up roster spots to bring in new guys, because right now it's a loaded roster. You have to move things around. And I think the guy on the top of my shopping list right now is Lachlan Brook.
Yeah, I mean, clearly not making an impact, not getting on the field, which kind of bums me out because I see something there with him.
Yeah.
Right? It's just not working out. Clearly, right? He's not getting minutes. So yeah, that one I would hope something happens, even if it's just another loan. But yeah, I think if you're looking at roster spots you can free up without really hurting the team, that's a big one.
I'm not really that surprised with this move. He hasn't impressed me at all whatsoever, and he's even had moments with the Monarchs, and he still hasn't shown anything with the Monarchs. And honestly, I could be a little bit negative about Lachlan Brook. I think if he spent less time liking tweets about him that are negative towards him, and maybe focus a little bit more on doing whatever he has to do to play for RSL, he'd probably be a lot better. So I don't really have any sympathy towards him.
Jeez. Carson
coming in hot.
Yeah, man. Jeez, Carson. There's I think having an international roster spot just sitting on the bench as your 5th string winger at this point,
it's again, not great.
Similar to the conversation we're having with Nelson, it just doesn't sit well. That's a massive roster spot that can be used elsewhere. Potentially a guy who can come in and be a game changer. Obviously, they wanted that with Lachlan. I think we wanted that with Lachlan, but unfortunately, Lachlan, it just hasn't worked out up to this point. And so, I think I'm looking at the roster right now, and that's probably the biggest piece that I think that Real Salt can move on from this window to open up those roster spots.
And how do you guys feel so we've signed 2 guys from Australia so far. Neither of them have really done much. Do you guys think we should keep going back to Australia for players?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, 2 signings from there, and neither of them have really worked out so far.
Yeah, I mean, with Ari Piol, I think he came into a tough situation where he was being asked to
be a starter
way more than he should be asked to do at this point, right? I haven't given up on him quite yet. Whereas Lachlan Brook, I don't know. I see a pathway for him to at least get on the field at the end of the game. every game and make an impact or have an impact with the Monarchs even, and it's just not happening, right? And that's concerning. I mean, think about when we were at preseason, Alex, and he was sick, right, but looked fine. And I don't know, it just starts to make you wonder, like, was he really sick? Is he disengaged? Is this,
Mm-hmm.
is he just not wanting to be here? Like something feels off with him in the situation, which sucks because when you do watch him play, there's something there. It just hasn't quite been let out by him. I do think he has what it takes to be a decent player. I don't think he's going to be more than a squad player anywhere, right? I don't think he's going to be, leading the Australian national team in the World Cup by any means. But, if we could go find us a Tim Cahill, different conversation.
Tim Cahill in this league, man,
He was incredible.
He was on a different level.
Yeah, he was incredible.
He's probably high up there on my list of all-time great designated players.
Right, but he didn't come from the A-League, right?
No, he came from Everton, I believe.
Right. So, there's Australian players out there. This is no knock on Australian players.
Yeah.
It's the source of the Australian player. And don't get me wrong, like players start in Australia and move to the Prem, right? They moved to MLS, but our luck so far has not been great.
And by the way, though, Lachlan is a English League reject, by the way. He was at Brentford B team. I think he was at Crewe Alexander, and then went back to Australia, and then that's RSL signed him from Australia. So England already said, no, we don't want you. So obviously, and the Australian national teams are actually really good, though. But a lot of their best players don't even play in Australia. They play in Europe.
Exactly. So if we got, an Australian player that has played at a high level in Europe, sweet.
Yep. Perfect.
But it feels like signing a player from the A-League is a project.
Yeah. I feel like we're kind of far past project a little bit. Like we want results.
I think there's plenty of projects already on this roster.
We got a lot of projects, right? Diego Luna is still technically a project. He's broken out of that, but he's been a project. I would rather us continue to go find those top tier USL guys and make those our project.
Yes.
Not burn international roster spots, right? Bring them up with the Monarchs like we've been doing and are continuing to do. Those are the projects I want to see.
And why don't we do that though? Like we've seen success through USL. Why do we keep going to Australia, Colombia? I mean, I don't have any problem with Colombia. I think Colombia actually does produce pretty good players for the most part. But like, for example, like Australia, we can buy more from USL and probably get more out of USL guys, like we've seen with Barajas and Luna the past couple years. So why don't we go back?
We did just go grab another guy from the Union Academy kid.
Yeah, Rosario.
Yeah. So I mean, we're still doing it, and I have no problem with looking at other countries for projects. You gotta diversify a little bit. I don't really believe that the USL has that many guys that can come up and do what Aluna's done.
Yes.
Right? So it's identifying those ones, maybe one a year, that are really killing it, and just kind of continuing in that path. But I think what we need to do better at is cutting ties when that project is clearly not going to work out. And I don't really see Lachlan Brook ever really working out.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
I think for me, this is a roster right now that already has a good amount of projects. And so if you're really trying to go through and compete this season, this window is extremely important because it's not about bringing in more projects now. It's about actually finding your DP9. It's about actually finding your TAM players. It's about actually finding your game changers.
The ones that are going to give those projects success, because
exactly
the entire weight of the success of the team isn't on the project.
Exactly. Josh, when did Andres Gomez actually start producing?
When Chicho got here.
There you go.
right? Because they have someone to link up with. They have someone to look forward, or not look forward to, look up to learn from.
Yeah.
Right? Well, there's no service into the box right now from anyone because there's no one in the box to finish the chance. There's no one creating space.
I remember seeing the comments online and seeing the people online talking about how we needed to get rid of Gomez because he was a failed project.
Bro,
In May, 4 months into him being here.
We were getting fed up to an extent.
Yeah, we were. We absolutely were. But then the second you bring in a guy who he can feed and create those opportunities and assist to, that's when Gomez took off.
You know who that's happening to right now, though?
Who's that?
Who?
Dominic Mark Shook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gozo's just straight up taking his spot, though.
No, it's more. I think it's more of Russell took a spot than Gozo at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because Gozo's essentially just playing the 10 right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, and honestly, to Carson's point, I would like to see Dominic link up with an actual DP9, with an actual striker. Because I think that's what we can find. Yeah, I think that's where we can find an opportunity for Dominic to thrive.
This is like the thing, though, is as a creator and a person that sets up people to score goals, how are you supposed to play every game the most confident you can if you're not confident in the striker you're playing with?
No, exactly. Who are you crossing the ball to? Willie Agata's not going to finish the chance. He's making wild runs.
At this point, play Russell up top. You know what I'm saying?
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love that.
Russell has proven like a couple games in with RSL that he can put it in the back of the net. So it's like it all comes down to who RSL thinks should go up there. But I mean, might as well try run Russell up top. You got nothing to lose.
Speaking of which, that might lead us into our next conversation. Diego Luna's back.
Yep.
So first of all, congratulations to Luna. Well done, well represented at the Gold Cup. Got the 3 goals. Really, made a name for himself this tournament. So congratulations to him. But he's back. He's available now on Saturday for Real Salt Lake, and so decisions have to be made in the starting lineup. You're not going to leave Luna on the bench. That's just the reality of it. So who's the odd man out, Josh? And we were talking about this on Saturday, and it got me thinking on my way home after the game on who that odd man out would be. And I know we said probably Johnny Russell, but now I'm starting to question.
It's gotta be Willie Agata, bro.
Now I'm starting to think it's going to be Willie Agata. Because why would you take off Johnny Russell when he's scoring goals?
I would be shocked if Willie Agata's dropped for Johnny Russell. It's what I want to see happen, but I would be shocked.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
I think you move up Johnny Russell to the 9. Plus, you'll probably get a little bit more playing time out of him because he's not going to be gassed after a couple of presses, right? He has a little bit more freedom to kind of stay up against the defensive line and kind of preserve a little bit more energy. So
100%.
You could probably get more production out of Johnny Russell having him start at the 9 with Luna on the wing, with Gozo, with Dominic.
Mm-hmm. You forgot Diogo.
Oh, sorry.
So we're benching Diogo as well.
With Diogo.
We'll get into that. But no, for me, it's got to be Willie Agata. You got to start Russell. Just try it. To do us all a favor, he's not going to go 90. Give me 60 minutes of Johnny Russell playing striker. See how it works out. If it's a horrible failure, it can't be worse than Willie Agata. Let's be real. It can't be worse. So
I could see the vision with that already, though. I could see with Gozo at the 10, I could see him and Russell rotating constantly on and off the ball at the 10 and striker, and even at some points both being up top at the same time, because we see that with Gozo already, where they're essentially playing 2 strikers.
Yep.
And I can see, honestly, Gozo and Russell shifting with Luna out wide as well. Like those 3 just constantly switching positions, confusing the defense. Like that'd be honestly perfect.
I think with what we've seen the last couple of games, with the success that Real Salt Lake has had in the attack with Russell and Gozo starting together, I think it would be a disservice to bench either one of them now that Luna's coming back.
I feel like Gozo's a non-conversation piece when it comes to benching.
Yeah.
Gozo has to play. He's earned it. He's been one of the brightest spots on the field for the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
He's earned that. If he gets benched right now, hard done. Hard done.
Yeah, he's coming off a goal as well, right?
No, it was an
Or was
own
that an
goal.
own goal? Yeah. But still, that was a good performance from him. He hasn't had really any bad performances since getting the playing time. So
Yeah,
No, he's been
he's
super
gotta play.
solid.
But I mean, this conversation could be very short lived because I really don't see Luna being here much longer at all.
Speaking of which, that moves on to our next bit of news. Earlier this week, it was reported by Tom Bogert of Give Me Sport that Celta Vigo is one of multiple European teams interested in the services of Diego Luna.
Celta Vigo would be dope.
I think Celta Vigo would be a nice landing spot for him. I do have a little bit of I guess I'm a little bit skeptical about the move because there's been Celta's invested before in young CONCACAF players like in Orbelin Pineda when he was playing in Mexico, and they just kind of tossed him to the side, didn't really give him playing time, didn't really give him his opportunity, and so that's just what I wouldn't want to see. There's also been young CONCACAF players who gone over to the Spanish league, to La Liga, and haven't really thrived, but I think it would be different for Luna.
I don't see Luna being the guy that would accept sitting.
Yeah.
You know?
and Luca De La Torre also played at Celta Vigo for a little bit as well, and obviously him and Luna were teammates in the Gold Cup.
That's true, and if I remember right, Luca De La Torre also didn't really get his opportunity at Celta.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I'd have to go back and double check on that, but that's one of those CONCACAF guys that I forgot went to Spain, and ultimately moved back. I think in the case of Luna, like we here locally, we know how driven he is. We know the hard work that he puts in, and so I think that would be a little bit different for him heading over there because like Josh mentioned, I don't see him being the type to be okay sitting, and so I think that he would absolutely work his tail off to make sure that he's the first name on that team sheet.
He's also turning into a genuine star.
Yeah.
Right? That's hard to be ignored. So, yeah, we'll see. All I know is, I hope he lands somewhere that he gets playing time, and I can't wait to see what that transfer fee is, bro.
We've talked about it before, man. You got 12 for Andres Gomez.
It's going to be a club record, for sure.
I think it should be more than 12.
I'm thinking 20.
15, 20. I think 15's...
15 feels cheap.
Now, once you get to the 20s, though, you're looking at an MLS record. You're not just looking at Real Salt Lake records. You're looking at Major League Soccer records. If I remember correctly, the highest ever outgoing transfer in Major League Soccer was Miguel Almiron for $22 million.
How much did Diego Gomez go for again from Inter Miami to Brighton?
Oh, correction. Miguel Almiron has been dethroned. John Duran from Chicago. His transfer fee to Aston Villa right now holds the record at $29 million.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize he was that expensive.
That's crazy, though, because he didn't even, score that. He didn't really, have that. I don't feel like he had that impact for the Chicago Fire like Luna's had for Real Salt Lake. So that's, crazy to think about.
I also feel like, and I could be wrong because I don't really, follow Chicago Fire that closely, but I feel like he wasn't there very long either.
No, he literally had, I think, a season, and then they shipped him off.
Well, if we get 30 for Luna and he becomes a league record, bro, I'm about it.
I think in all reality, you're probably looking at that 15 to 20 range. Is at least what you should be demanding.
Absolutely.
Right? I think, I'm seeing...
You should be demanding 20 and settling for 15.
Yes. It should be more than Gomez. I think it absolutely should be more than Gomez, especially now that, when Andres Gomez left, he was a great Major League Soccer player. He was barely kind of breaking through with the national team. I think now you have extra value with Diego Luna because he has broken out with the national team, and he is a national team. He is going to be a national team star.
Let's hope.
Another thing that I looking at this, you have Thiago Almada, who left Atlanta at 19.5 million euros, and then Ricardo Pepi, who left at 16.36 million. I would say in an ideal world, RSL should be within that number.
Yeah, higher than Pepi.
Yeah. I would rate him over Pepi.
See, that feels weird to say, because I feel like Ricardo Pepi is a baller, and so it's like it's so weird to think that a player his caliber only went for 16 million.
I think when he left, he was only 18 though.
But he left and went where? He went to like Augsburg or something, and
he went to Augsburg, and then Augsburg sold him to PSV.
Yeah, and that didn't work out, but he's worked out well for PSV.
Yeah. Regardless, Celta, a lower tier La Liga side, I think would be a great fit for Luna. And honestly, I don't know if he's Premier League level yet, Josh.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
No. Stay away.
Yeah. Also, I don't want him going to the Prem.
Exactly. No. I would hate to see him end up as, Georgi Petrovic at Chelsea and, quite frankly, Gaga Slonina at Chelsea, right? Get picked up by a big European side and then just kind of be tossed to the side. Now, Georgie and Gaga are in they're like third or fourth loan. So
Chelsea does, bro.
We've seen with multiple Americans though, and the way they get treated with in the Premier League. I think the only one that has really solidified himself in the Premier League as of late is Tyler Adams. Other than that, it's like Pulisic went and then got tossed away like trash. Brendan Aronson went, and I feel like Leeds fans have kind of had like a mixed reaction with him, but like he's went there, got relegated, and then helped bring him back again. So like he's kind of a soul like player there now, and so like
McKinney didn't work out. Turner didn't work out.
McKinney was terrible. Like they did not treat McKinney good at all. And Anthony Robinson, I mean, you can come out and put him, but he was literally like born and raised in England. Like he was built for the Premier League.
That's a little bit different.
And he started in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a little bit different.
And from Everton, yeah.
Right. And so I think Premier League would be the last place I would like to see him land. But I think right now, yes. But I think La Liga would be a phenomenal fit.
Imagine him ending up in like a Barcelona jersey in 2 years.
I sat in the same room as this dude, and now he's in a Barca kit. That'd be wild.
We'll see.
That Premier League money is tempting, though, so I mean, I wouldn't blame him.
Diego Luna back with the team. He'll be available Saturday as Real Salt Lake make their welcome in Houston this weekend. But before we get there, it's silly season, guys. Transfer rumors are starting to float around across all of Major League Soccer. There was a smaller account that tweeted earlier this week, too, that Real Salt Lake were interested in a young 24-year-old Colombian by the name of Brian Leon. Now they're sniffing around potentially another young player, this time, like I said, a 24-year-old striker. But looking at the film and looking at the statistics, it's not one that right now moves the needle for me, Josh.
It just feels like another project, man.
Yep.
Like I know, let's go off the 4 players we've heard is like the target coming in. One of them needs to be a game changer.
One of them needs to be a DP. Period.
Right. And this guy's not a DP for sure.
Yeah.
I think his transfer value is like 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Which is a good amount of money, but at this point in the MLS, like that's project. Right?
24 years old is past project for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you never know. He might come in and light it up, but it's not what we are striving for right now. And with 2 strikers on the roster, this feels like the only other striker that would be coming in. So, could be wrong, right? It doesn't give me a lot of for a lot of excitement.
I would agree.
So, I feel like Luke Mulholland, when he's doing his and team when they're doing their scouting, are literally just typing in Brian and seeing what pops up, and that's all we're going after.
They pull up EAFC and they go over to the transfer tab, and then they go into find player and they just put Brian in every iteration and version that they could possibly think of, and that's how they made their list.
That's what it feels like. It's definitely not the truth, but my lord, how many Brians can we sign in a 3-year period? A lot of them have worked out, though. I mean, it's a good name, apparently.
So that's what you got to do, man. You got to find the Bryans.
I don't know. I'm hoping we get a Bogart bomb, and we all go, "Damn, that's what's up. That's what we need."
I don't think we will ever see a Bogart bomb Chicho Arango level ever again.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of years of this club left, bro. I might be dead, but it'll happen at some point.
Bogart will be retired by the time it happens, man. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, like, the thing that I still get hung up on, and I don't know if this is because the Millers are just still unfamiliar with the league, but we'll find our Donovan Mitchell's comment, like, guys, this isn't the NBA, like the draft, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to find your Donovan Mitchells with millions of dollars.
Yeah. I think, I think obviously, like, it's hard because right now this is a very important window for Real Salt Lake, a massively important window for Real Salt Lake. This and the next upcoming winter window. If you really, really want to start competing this season, you have to bring in game changers this window.
Yep. Especially if you're losing game changers.
I think, yes, especially if you lose a game changer like Diego Luna. I think with the squad right now that Real Salt Lake has, I think it is good enough to play a couple of good games, get you enough points to sneak in, at the very minimum, in the play-in spots. But that's not what you should be aiming for.
No, we got to aim higher, but that's been the RSL way, I feel like, forever.
Yeah.
Right? It's, we snuck into the playoffs. Yay. Let's not do anything major to change this and really actually compete.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
What I'm trying to get at with that is, like, I understand, these next 2 windows are incredibly important, but I'm afraid that it might pass us over because the new ownership group is still settling in and figuring out Major League Soccer. And that's extremely concerning.
Yeah, but I mean, they have Blitzer as a co-owner. He should know well enough by now, right? Him and Ryan Smith didn't wait when they came in. They jumped right in and made moves. So I don't know, man. Like, the ownership group just needs to trust the front office, provide them with what the front office needs, and do something, make it happen, right? You're billionaires. Like, this whole notion of, like, we can't afford it, like, just hurts my brain. I don't know. You're billionaires. You can spend a couple million on a player. You can do it. We'll all go to Megaplex. We'll sign we'll go to 5 movies a year and buy popcorn if it'll help you guys out and give us some players.
I agree with that. I will go to more movies just for that.
So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens this window. I think by the time August 24th rolls around, right when the window closes, I think we'll have a pretty solid idea of how this team will finish the season.
Yeah, if guys aren't in here in the next 2 weeks, we're not seeing them make an impact till September.
Yeah.
So, and by then it's going to be too late.
Yeah. So we'll see, man.
Why is being a sports fan, bro? Why is it just the worst?
It's a good question.
You get too invested, man.
It's pain.
It's pain. It's pain all around. Spain without the S. St. Louis, man.
I mean, we won.
I know we won, but
by God, it was nervy. Our defense has been problematic.
I would agree.
I genuinely believe that if we didn't have Cabral in net, our goal differential would be like -40 at this point.
The thing I'm struggling with right now with this team in the defense is like for 80 minutes out of the 90, they're good.
But then they literally just they switch off.
Yeah, man.
Especially on set pieces, bro.
Justin Glad.
Especially on the set pieces, and that's what really hurt Real Salt Lake this past weekend. But let's jump into this starting lineup. Actually, unchanged from the last game. We don't got to go through the whole thing. Unchanged. Sam Junka keeps his spot in the defense. Noel Caliscan, as we mentioned before, he's your starting right back, and he goes.
Which that needs, I mean, doing a job, but that is something I hope is on the shopping list for these 4 players.
What did he do, man?
Yeah, what the hell?
No, I'm just saying, Bodie's not pushing him.
No. I mean, like, what did he do on Saturday?
I mean, he scored a bomb, but I still think we need some, real right back depth.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean?
I agree. Right now he's doing a job, and obviously he rewards the fan base with an absolute stunner of a goal, nominated for one of the goals of the weeks. I think he lost to Messi. Go figure.
Yeah, who would have saw that coming?
But he's doing a job right now, man, and yeah, I got to give him props. But now, looking kind of big picture and looking at the grand scope of the roster, with Nelson Palacio moving on, he can slot in as a cheap, viable option as your number 4 center mid.
Yep.
So let's put him back in the midfield, and let's invest in a right back.
Let's get a Catranis level right back.
I would love a Catranis level right back.
Yes, sir. I would love that too.
That'd be phenomenal.
It would make this team so much better.
Right? It seems like this coaching staff and Pablo really respect and really like Caliscan. And so, I don't want to knock the guy too much, but in all reality, like, let's slot him back into the midfield, the position that he plays. You have him as your 4th guy rotating with Ruiz, Ojeda, and Ellie. And you bring in an actual right back. And it sounds like that's one of the targets for this window, is a fullback for Real Salt Lake.
He needs to be.
If I remember right, I think the targets was a striker, a winger, a fullback, and there was one more, Josh. It's escaping me right now.
I don't remember either. It's probably not a center back. It's probably not a goalkeeper.
Oh, just kidding. Those are the 3.
The 3?
Yeah.
I could see them looking at potentially 2 wingers and us having another surprise outgoing outside of Luna. Right? Gozo's getting attention. Lachlan could go. And one of those may be a project, which is totally fine. So we also love signing wingers.
I know. I think it would I think it would be okay to lose one of 2 this window in Luna or Gozo.
If we lost both,
losing both, that would sting.
No bueno.
I don't feel like Gozo. I feel like selling him now would be too early, right? It would be like a Fidel Barajas situation where he goes somewhere,
right?
Get
but
one back.
If someone comes in with the Fidel Barajas type offer, you can't say no.
You got to take it.
That's a thing, right? If someone comes in and in all reality, Chivas overpaid for Fidel Barajas
by a lot,
by a mile. And so if somebody comes in, and I can say that because I'm my family's Chivas supporters, and everybody in my family loves Chivas, so I can say that. I can make fun of them. But if somebody comes in and puts an overpaid offer for Xavier Gozo, like a Feyenoord, like a Genk, who right now are currently rumored to be tracking Gozo, then I think you absolutely have to take it, right? But it would sting really, really badly if you lose both of your playmakers this window.
Would not be good.
I think Gozo's maybe got like a year or two left with RSL before he gets a move. Unless he like scores like 10 more goals this season, I can see him being gone like that. But I think it'd be smart for him to stay for a little bit and not rush a move.
Going back to St. Louis, RSL up 1-0 thanks to that stunner from Noel Caliscan. You're up 1-0 at home. You make it 2 thanks to your designated player, who after we got to give him credit, because after the suspension or after the disciplinary issues that, Jason Christ mentioned, Diogo Gonçalves, I think, has kicked it into another gear. And Josh, we talked about how we wanted to see consistency out of Diogo. It's slowly but surely, it's coming.
Slowly, but it's getting better.
It is.
It's getting better.
Slowly for $1 million a year. Yeah.
I wasn't absolutely upset. I wasn't absolutely questioning his performance against St. Louis, right? I thought that he did a lot of really good things.
Yeah, if he can continue that, then
that's what we want.
We'll stop talking about him.
That's what we want. And he answers criticisms with a goal. Lovely goal. Gets inside the box, puts it on his right, curls it past Roman Berkey, and makes it 2-0 for Real Salt Lake. Celebrates by honoring Diogo Jota, which again I absolutely loved. And again, I see improvements in his performance since the disciplinary issues.
You see what he's capable of, and
yes,
for me that's frustrating because, like, bro,
where
we
know
you're good. Where was it earlier this year?
Right.
What's keeping you from being your best here? Let's address that. Become a legend here. Then you can, tell us to stop running our mouths. But up until the point of you scoring multiple goals, multiple games in a row, we're going to continue to criticize until we see you doing the job we're paying you to do. Giving your all for the shirt. You're well on your way, right? Yeah. You're starting to earn that cred, but you're not really putting up the numbers yet. You're starting to put the numbers up.
Right.
Finish the season out strong. People will adore you.
Bottom line, I think that recent performances from Diogo have been a lot better than what he's showing. So I think we can all agree that we just hope that that trend continues.
That's all we can hope for, man.
Yep. RSL's up 2-0. Early in the second half, Joao Klaus scores a goal off a corner, off a header. Makes it 2-1 early in the second half, and then a couple moments, maybe 10 minutes later, Yarrow scores an own goal. It's 3-1 Real Salt Lake. It seems like RSL have a really good chance to finish off this game, but instead, another corner, another set-piece opportunity. St. Louis scores another goal. Personally, honestly, should have been given to Haziel Orozco, but that's just me. And instead, it's credited to Yarrow. Yarrow gets a goal after scoring an own goal, makes it 3-2, and all of a sudden, Josh, you can feel a shift. You can feel the tide has shifted.
You can feel the nerves kicking in, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And to be fair, we almost walked out of there with 1 point, last kick of the game.
Quite literally.
So I don't know what it is with set pieces, buddy, but
yeah,
we got to tighten that up.
Yeah, RSL have not been good on defending the set piece this season. And you get beat twice off basically the same play against St. Louis.
Who's a bottom feeder.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they suck.
They're very injured, which is why Haziel Orozco played on Saturday.
And he didn't play bad at all either.
I thought he played a really good game. Him and Goza were having a phenomenal battle.
Yeah, it was very back and forth between those two.
Him and Gozo, it's almost like, those two kind of grew up in the academy and knew each other for a very long time.
And I was pretty sure Haziel scored that second goal.
Yeah, I thought he did too. Like, if anyone's going to score him.
It's funny because before the game we were talking about it, Josh, and we said that it would be amazing to see Haziel score, and he almost did.
I swear I predicted the freaking Caliscan goal as well.
You know what, man? I meant to go back and re-listen to the show to give you credit for it, and I've been tied up. I forgot. So we'll just we'll just say that you did. You predicted Noel Caliscan.
Yes.
So Carson,
let's go.
Shout out Carson for getting that right. 97th minute, or however freaking long this game went, Joao Klaus is all by himself at the back post and has a chance to tie it up. Very, very nearly scores for St. Louis, almost makes it 3-3. Instead, Rouse Lake hold on for 3 points at home, 3-2. And I think the most positive and the best way you can look at this game, Josh, is you now have 7 of the last 9. You're trending in the right direction.
It's true. You know what a big part of that trend is? I'm going to give him credit right now. Pablo Ruiz.
Yes.
I think we've all kind of gotten. I know he was out for basically 2 years, but I think we're just so used to Pablo Ruiz's creativity that now that he's back and he's looking like Pablo Ruiz of old, we're not really giving him his flowers. We're not really giving him his credit. But I think a lot of the creativity that we've seen over the course of the last couple of games, it's ran through Pablo Ruiz, especially now that Diego Luna is not on the field.
Yep. And to be completely honest, it gives us a very different look than Ojeda and Emeka give us.
Right.
And moving forward, I think as well as that tandem has performed, I think Pablo Ruiz needs to be the one starting with one of those two alongside.
I 100% agree.
We've been playing so much better with him in the midfield, and I think it just gives us a whole new dimension of what we can do on the field, right? Emeka and Ojeda are very similar players, so
very good at what they do.
Yes, but too similar.
Yes,
too similar, right?
Yes,
and going forward, not creative. So
yeah,
Pablo Ruiz needs to be on the field a lot more for the remainder of this season.
He's just so good, man. Like playing that. He's just like I've never seen anyone play balls like he does. And for RSL in general. Besides, I think the guy that came close to him was probably Nelson Palacio, but now he's gone.
Yeah, you're right.
And even then though, Nelson didn't spray passes at the level that Pablo Ruiz has.
Yeah.
Like Pablo Ruiz has the Argentine flair.
Yeah.
He has the vision, the creativity, and the skill set to put balls in bread baskets like none other on the field.
He also has bite, right?
Oh yeah,
he's not all flair. He'll bite too. So he's a great player. We've been lucky to have him.
I think at the beginning of the season, Josh, you and I had this conversation. We were talking about how Ruiz coming back from injury, like it kind of sucks that he's been out for 2 years, and I think his whatever window he had to go to Europe, I think at this point has fully shut for Pablo Ruiz, unfortunately. But the positive is, I mean, from an Rouse Lake perspective and from a Rouse Lake fan perspective, like you get to enjoy Pablo Ruiz for a lot longer now than we probably thought we were going to have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if he stays healthy.
100%.
Yep. I'm a big fan. I remember when, Petke had him playing left back and it just wasn't working out. It was dark days.
I remember that.
But, he's really figured out what he's good at, and the team's figured out what he's good at. And when he's on, man, he's on. And he's a key ingredient to this team being good.
How much credit do we give that Austrian team? for
lot.
his development.
Pinsgau, a ton.
Pinsgau, yeah, there you go.
For him and Andrew Brody, to be fair.
Yeah. Both him and Brody, when they returned, they were different people.
Entirely different players.
Yeah.
Had Pablo Ruiz not, and Andrew Brody to that extent, I really feel that loan extended their careers and made them better players. And had they not done that, I don't think Brody would have been in the league as long as he has. And who knows, Pablo would still be playing, but at what level, I don't know.
I just don't think for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I don't know what level or how successful he would have been.
Yeah.
It's incredible what a loan can do for a player. And maybe that's what we're hoping for with Nelson, right?
100%. Yes, absolutely. That's kind of where I was going to go with this too, is now that Nelson is going to be on a loan in Zurich, in Switzerland, that could ultimately be the move that hopefully brings him up again.
Yep.
Because we just haven't seen him take enough steps in his development to justify keeping him on the roster for the for the international spot, and for the U22 spot.
100% agree.
And the Swiss league isn't a bad league at all either.
No, it's one of those like underrated. It's one of those underrated European leagues.
Yeah.
I feel like the Swiss league usually has some good development happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
Mo Salah with Basel.
Basel.
Basel? Is that how you say it?
No, I have no idea. I just it makes me think of Austin Powers every time.
Basel.
All right, guys. Looking ahead. Houston Dynamo.
Another must win.
A massive must win, because after the Dynamo game, the schedule gets significantly harder. Plus, you got Leagues Cup coming up too at the end of the month, and so you have to, in all reality, for Real Salt Lake, you have to collect 3 points in games as much as possible from here until Leagues Cup.
Yeah, before your roster is really stretched thin, man.
Yes,
especially if we don't have anyone coming in before that.
And I mean, too, in all reality, Real Salt Lake have not been successful in Leagues Cup.
No.
And after Leagues Cup, they have not been successful. There is a wild drop off in form for Real Salt Lake post Leagues Cup. It happened in 2023 when they first expanded the tournament, and it happened last season. Plus, you have other stuff happening in the background, right. All that going on in between all this, but at the same time, like, one of the things that I'm curious to see this season for Real Salt Lake, you don't have the month break if you don't advance, right? You don't have that long break anymore. You play your 3 League Cup game, and then you're right back into you're right back into MLS play, because so many teams complained. And I mean, there was a visible drop off for Real Salt Lake and for multiple teams around Major League Soccer after that Leagues Cup break.
I'm totally fine with them not taking that break. I hated that break. I compare it a lot to, when you finish like number 1 seed for the playoffs and you have to wait 2 weeks, right? Like, your form goes away.
Right.
So it sucks. It's really going to test our roster. Maybe we get to see like a Jude Wellings finally. Some of these young guys, because Ojeda, Anelli, Pablo Ruiz, they're going to be tired.
Mm-hmm.
Outside backs, they're going to be tired.
I would have complained about seeing some young talent.
I don't think anyone would.
It'd be nice to see like who are the next up and coming players for Real Salt Lake are, and I feel like we rarely get a glimpse of them.
Yeah,
I feel like
Agreed.
Gozo is one of the rare instances for like a player's finally coming through from the academy.
Yeah, a lot of these guys just quite literally haven't gotten a chance,
which is stupid for a team that's known for playing homegrown players and developing through their academy. Like, you need to be playing your talent more.
Agreed. I agree.
So to kind of put the next month in perspective for everybody for Real Salt Lake, you have Houston at home on Saturday. You have a midweek at Portland, which Josh will be there. And then you have Cincinnati, who comes to America First Field next Saturday. Then you have San Jose before you go into a midweek against Club America. Saturday, August 2nd against San Luis, and then another midweek against Querétaro here at America First Field. And then because there's no break, immediately after your third Leagues Cup game, you're right back on the road in Major League Soccer. So the 6th against Querétaro, and then Sunday, August 10th at New York Red Bulls.
That's an absolute gauntlet.
It's gonna be a rough month for Real Salt Lake if they don't figure it out.
Which they've started to figure out, but that's a rough month. That's
Period,
really rough.
That's a lot of fixtures, a lot of important games. I mean, right? The 3 Leagues Cup games are going to be massive for Real Salt Lake this season because, again, this is a team who hasn't had much success in this tournament, if at all.
There was the one game with the Raccoon and the Thunderstorm that was crazy and a fun one.
Oh yeah, the Leon game. That was the last successful game Real Salt Lake had in this tournament.
Maybe the only?
Probably, because right after that you go to LAFC and you absolutely get trounced 4-0.
That was the game Pablo Ruiz got hurt.
That was his first injury, yeah.
Yeah.
That was his first injury. And then the next season, you follow it up with a Real Salt Lake that's already kind of fading out from their hot start. You barely squeeze. No, you didn't make it out of the group. You got absolutely demolished by Houston and didn't make it out of the group.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, man. Pessimistic me don't have a lot of hope, I guess.
Yeah.
That we're going to pick up a lot of wins in this next month and a half. But again, prove me wrong. And I'll admit it. But right now, I just don't see a path for this team to really pick up points in league and compete in Leagues Cup. I just don't see it.
And the reality is, if you don't have deals negotiated within the next 2 weeks,
guys aren't going to be available.
Those guys aren't going to be available for Leagues Cup. So what you see now for Real Salt Lake, this roster you see now, is what's going to end up rolling out, minus the guys who end up leaving, because those guys will leave immediately.
And there's a very good chance Diego Luna is one of them by then.
Yeah.
Very good chance. There's a good chance he's gone in the next 3 weeks.
Although he says in his press conference that he would like to stay. But again...
Of course he does. Media training.
Right. Again, if an offer comes in for Luna that you can't refuse...
You're taking it.
You got to take it.
Yep.
Predictions for Houston, guys, before we wrap this one up. The Houston's been a thorn in the Real Salt Lake side for the longest time. Now it seems, though, that Real Salt Lake has a little bit of a better grip against Houston. I don't know. We'll see. But the last couple games for Houston, you have a 3-1 loss against Sporting Kansas City, a 3-1 loss against Montreal, a 3-1 loss against Minnesota, a 1-0 win against St. Louis, and a 4-3 win against San Diego, the top team losing to one of the bottom feeders. What do you got for Houston this weekend, guys?
I'm going to continue being negative because that's what I do. We're going to lose this one 3-2, which hopefully in reality means we win 3-2. But I think it's going to be a similar score.
I want to say... Ooh, that's pushing it. I'm going to say...
You got to say 5? Were you about to say 5?
Yeah. I'm going to say 5-1. 5-1 RSL.
Who's scoring? We're not scoring 5 goals.
Give me a Luna brace, a Gozo goal, give me a Russell goal, and then let's say a Glad goal.
You know, I could see Luna coming off the Gold Cup and putting in a performance. That wouldn't surprise me. But 5 against Houston, bro? No.
Yes, sir.
Nope. I hope you're
right.
That'd be fun.
Now would be the time to do it. You haven't scored 5 goals in a game since you beat Atlanta at home last year, 5-1. And then maybe there was an Austin one in there too that was 5-1, but I can't remember if that was before or after the Atlanta game.
I'm dying for it. I'm dying for us to.
I would absolutely love it, but you got to also keep in mind that This past game against St. Louis was the first time Real Salt Lake, or the second time this season that Real Salt Lake has scored 3 goals in a game. Goals haven't been
I'd be more inclined to believe Carson's prediction if our defense wasn't like a noodle strainer, and if we had a striker that was putting up any kind of numbers.
No, but you get 8 goals back. You get 8 goals back and 3 assists or however many from Luna this week.
Yeah, but I mean, now Carson's prediction comes more realistic if Johnny Russell's starting a striker.
Yes. Give it to me. Johnny up top, Diogo on the left, Gozo on the right, and Luna underneath.
I'd be very happy with that.
Who says no?
Pablo Mastrini.
Yeah, probably.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to add, say, throw out there before we wrap this one up?
Nah. Let's wrap it up. We've talked long enough.
That's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show. Don't forget to go like. Don't forget to go subscribe. Don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. We'll be back next week following the Houston game. We'll talk to you then.